The Peacemaker is a character known by comic book fans, but unknown to the general public. James Gunn knows that this gives you a great deal of freedom to use all your creativity in adapting to live action. The Peacemaker was originally created by Bob Layton and Dick Giordano for Charlton Comics. He made his debut in November 1966 in issue 40 of HQ Fighting 5. Then DC Comics bought the rights to the characters from Charlton Comics. There are 3 characters in the stories who use the name and wore the Peacemaker's mantle. The first Peacekeeper is Christopher Smith, who was best known and also used in the Suicide Squad movie. It's Christopher's story that we'll focus on in the video. The second Peacemaker has no name and no history of origin, just appears as a member of a team created and maintained by the United Nations called League Busters. The third Peacemaker is Mitchell Black, a renowned surgeon who was recruited by the Pax Institute, a group created by Christopher, the first Peacemaker. And everything indicates that Black was killed during the Infinite Crisis. Let's focus now on Christopher, the first Peacemaker. Son of a great Austrian industrialist and American writer, Christopher grew up in Austria until his father committed suicide when his dark secrets were revealed. He was a high-ranking commander in the German army during World War II and was in charge of a center for concentration where he committed several war crimes. So he and his mother moved to the United States. At this time Christopher became rebellious and violent. As soon as he turned 18, he enlisted in the army and went into the Vietnam War, where, due to a mistake in military intelligence and also because he hears his father's voice, he says he hears the voice of his deceased father in his helmet, Christopher kills several inhabitants of a village of innocent people. For this criminal act, he is sentenced to 20 years in prison. To be exonerated, Christopher makes a deal and becomes the leader of an anti-terrorist group. Then comes the Peacekeeper, a hero who uses extreme violence to achieve his goal, world peace. After leaving prison, he takes over his father's industries, which at his command stop manufacturing weapons and make household appliances, which makes him a millionaire man. With his fortune, he created the Institute of Pax in Switzerland, which aims to help people affected by wars. With his fortune, he created the Institute of Pax in Switzerland, which aims to help people affected by wars. Her anti-terrorist group she supervised by the checkmate, who was one of those responsible for the Suicide Squad. On one mission the Peacekeeper was shot down while piloting a helicopter, and for a time it was considered dead, but later we learn that he survived the crash. He was in the Great Crisis Saga in Infinite Earths, where he participated in a battle against the forces of Anti-Monitor, which had the involvement of other heroes, such as Keyberg and Panther. By this time, it was evident that the Peacemaker had some mental problems. In addition to saying that he heard his father's voice in his head, he claimed that the souls of the people he killed lived in his helmet. In more current stories, the Peacemaker managed to improve his sanity, and no longer shields voices. Peacemaker from James Gunn's Suicide Squad. In the film, the character will be played by WW star John Cena. We still don't know much about his participation in the film, but what surprised everyone was the announcement of the Pacificator solo series, which, in addition to the presence of the star and other actors in the film, will feature director and screenwriter James Gunn, who seemed extremely excited to perform this work. The Peacemaker promises to be a funny and endearing character from the Suicide Squad, yet another anti-hero that will gain many fans.